Hey there, two-wheel enthusiasts, welcome back to Two-Wheel Trends. Today, we've got something really special for you guys, and we know you're as excited as we are. It's the 2025 Royal Enfield Hunter 350. That's right, the Hunter 350 has returned this year with a bang, and we're going to go over everything of what it looks like, what it feels like, how it rides, and if it's worth your hard-earned cash. Let's start by taking in the first thing we all notice here, the looks. Now, the Royal Enfield Hunter 350 has always had that charm, but the 2025 version takes things up a notch. From the front, you'll notice the retro-modern blend that's become Royal Enfield's signature. The round headlamp still dominates the design, giving it a classic appeal, but it's been updated with full LED lighting this year, ensuring better visibility without losing that vintage feel. I really love how they've maintained that balance here. It's not too aggressive, and yet it's got enough street presence to catch an eye or two. Now, moving along to the side of the bike, this is where things really come to life. Royal Enfield has given the Hunter 350 a slightly more compactor and nimble frame, but without compromising on its strong build quality. They've kept that sturdy double cradle frame, but with new ergonomic tweaks to improve comfort for both the rider and the pillion. One thing that jumps out right away is the newly designed fuel tank. With its teardrop shape, it holds 13 liters of fuel, which is decent for city commutes and those spontaneous weekend rides. The paint finishes this year are sharper, with bold color schemes that really make the bike pop. Everything from classic chrome to some more edgy matte finishes. It's definitely a bike that can fit multiple personalities, whether you're the classic cruiser type or a more modern rider looking for something fresh. From the back, the 2025 Hunter 350 continues with its minimalist, tidy design. The rear LED light cluster is compact but bright, and they've retained the old-school fender design, which I think is a great touch. The dual shocks on the rear are tuned just right for urban environments but also handle reasonably well when the road gets a little rough. And that fat rear tire, it's a 140 sectioner, really adds some visual heft to the bike, improving the overall stance. Alright, let's talk about the heart of this beast. Underneath all this gorgeous styling lies a 349cc, single-cylinder, air-oil-cooled engine. And yes, it's the same engine we've seen in the Meteor and the classic 350, but Royal Enfield has done some slight tuning to make it feel more peppy on this particular model. It's a fuel-injected engine that churns out around 20.2 horsepower at 6,100 RPM, and 27 Newton-meters of torque at 4,000 RPM. It's not a powerhouse, but let's be real. The Hunter 350 isn't trying to compete with sport bikes. This is a bike meant for smooth cruising, for urban commuting, and maybe the occasional highway ride. One thing I noticed when riding it is how smooth the throttle response is. Royal Enfield has clearly worked on improving the fueling and the overall smoothness of this engine. The vibrations are minimal, especially when you're cruising at lower speeds in the city. It's got that classic thump we all love from a Royal Enfield, but without the annoying buzz that you used to get at higher RPMs on older models. The engine is paired to a 5-speed gearbox, which has a good spread of gears for both city and light highway riding. Shifts feel slick, though sometimes a little notchy in the lower gears, but nothing that really hampers the riding experience. Speaking of the riding experience, I took the bike out for a spin in a variety of settings: city streets, a bit of rougher terrain, and a quick dash on the highway. And I have to say, it handles beautifully for its class. In the city, it feels agile and easy to maneuver, thanks to its relatively lightweight construction. Weighing in at around 181 kilograms, it's not the lightest bike out there, but it strikes a nice balance between being planted and nimble. The 17-inch wheels front and rear definitely help with its agility, and combined with the slightly shorter wheelbase, it makes those tight urban corners a breeze to navigate. The Hunter 350 also feels incredibly stable, even at higher speeds. The suspension, which consists of telescopic forks up front and twin shocks in the rear, is tuned to absorb the typical bumps and potholes you'd find in an urban setting. But I will say, on rougher terrain, it's a bit more noticeable, as it's definitely tuned for road use more than off-road. It's firm, but comfortable enough for everyday commuting. And when it comes to braking, this is where the Hunter 350 really impressed me. You've got a 300mm disc up front and a 270mm disc at the back, with dual-channel ABS as standard. The stopping power feels very adequate, especially for a bike in this price range. It gives you confidence in traffic, and the ABS works well without being overly intrusive. Now, let's get into what everyone wants to know: a price. For 2025, the Royal Enfield Hunter 350 starts at around 165,000 Indian rupees in India, which translates to roughly $2,000. For what you're getting: a stylish, well-built, modern classic bike with Royal Enfield's heritage and reliability. That's a pretty solid deal. There are a few variants depending on the market, and you can get different color options and accessories, which can bump up the price a little. But even at its highest spec, it's still well within reach for a lot of riders looking for a dependable daily commuter with a bit of that retro flair. Overall, the 2025 Royal Enfield Hunter 350 continues to be a bike that perfectly blends classic styling with modern practicality. It's not the most powerful or the fastest bike out there, but if you're someone who's looking for an easygoing, stylish commuter with the occasional weekend fun, this bike is definitely worth considering. You get solid build quality, smooth performance, and a price tag that's hard to argue with. And let's face it, it's a Royal Enfield, so you're getting a piece of motorcycling history with every ride. So that's our review of the 2025 Royal Enfield Hunter 350. Let us know in the comments what you think of this beauty when you ride one. Don't forget to smash that like button if you enjoyed this review, and subscribe to Two Wheel Trends for more in-depth reviews on the latest bikes. Until next time, keep riding, stay safe, and we'll see you in the next video.